Welcome back. Now, no matter what you prioritize in life, improving yourself will always be crucial to your overall personal and career development. The Center for Enterprise Development is hosting a course on how to explore emotional intelligence and helping people better understand themselves and others. Joining us now is CED's Marketing Manager, Vehonga, Ndjitaviua, and the trainer and facilitator, Marcelle. Martin, a very good evening to you both, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Good evening, thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for having us.
Well, first, talk to us about the Center for Enterprise Development and its main objectives, as well as the programs and the workshops that the CED holds. Vehonga.
Yes, the Center for Enterprise Development was established in 2000. And the mandate was really to spearhead capacity building initiative for industry. So we basically develop programs, we customize or tailor-made training programs, as well as accredited executive programs. We've got ICT courses as well as skill building for SMEs. So that's basically what the mandate is of CED. We are established within NUST. Obviously back then it was the Polytechnic and now the Nobel University of Science and Technology.
Sure.
Yes.
Now, emotional intelligence, if I may just turn to you, Marcelle, is just one of the many unique courses that the CED offers. And we have seen that you also offer courses such as critical thinking and problem-solving skills training. Why do you center some of your training on social issues?
Yeah, well, the marketing department of the CED are very good. They do regular, continuous updates and collect data from the public. And from there we get the issues that are listed, and the public actually listed all these requests towards problem solving and critical thinking skills. Companies send their participants, their employees to us, and people really find it very educative to attend our critical thinking courses, because they start to really think out of the box after they've been on one of these courses. And with the problem solving, we basically give them a lot of tips and strategies and steps in problem solving. And our courses is very, very cheap. It's like over 4 evenings for about 790. And as well as the emotional intelligence. And these SME courses are also offered online. So employers can send their staff members to the courses for a very cheap fee, and they can even log on online for wherever they are, from work or from home, and it starts at 5:30 until 8:30 in the evenings. We also have like emotional intelligence and problem solving and the critical thinking skills, which run over 5 days. That's now from the short courses division. And we have different project managers that run these ones. The SMEs are run by Ms. Helena Ilovo, and the 5-day courses are run by the project officers, Ms. Sarah Chiweda.
Now, emotional intelligence, otherwise known as emotional quotient or EQ, for those that are only coming across this for the first time or have not dived into it briefly, briefly speak to us, on what EQ is and how imperative is it that people tap into EQ?
Yeah, emotional intelligence is very important because everybody have different feelings and they have different emotions from time to time. And we were never taught about these emotions at school. So we need to become aware of our emotions.
Right.
And we need to have the theory behind emotional intelligence to learn about self-management, learn about relationship management, self-awareness, and all these social awareness, so that employees who come for training can then go back and then identify their own different feelings, their own different emotions, and then for self-management, for example, they then identify these manipulative thoughts or behaviors, and they can stop it, think about it, and rectify it immediately. And then also it's important that at the workplace, many employees should be able to work together. And that social awareness is not there. So when people come for emotional intelligence courses, they learn about the needs of other people, emotions of other people, the personal cues of other people, and how to basically work together in harmony with others. And it's important that people get the theory, and when they get the theory, they immediately start to understand and apply it. We have a lot of social pressures, and since COVID we are all aware that everybody, the buzzword is now all these mental health programs and mental health awareness. So it is important that people can understand their emotions and basically ensure that they make the correct decisions, and they use the right strategies that we teach them and that we give to them through the course in order to have the right behavior in the end.
Vehonga, of course, if you would like to jump in there or to add something.
Yes, just wanted to add, like Marcelle said, obviously because of the fact that we are an innovative center within the university, we are constantly really researching the market to find out what are the needs, what are the current trends, and what are the needs in terms of training and capacity building, and how do we come in. And like she said, and we are now talking about the emotional intelligence element. I think 3 weeks ago we had a newspaper article that, they highlighted, the number of suicides that occurred within the period of the first 4 months of the year already. So, so much has happened, and we need to be able to identify programs and skills building initiatives that are going to close those gaps, like the emotional intelligence element. And I think Marcelle focused a lot on the workspace, and I think I just need to take it back a little bit and say, at university level, at school levels, these are programs that we need.
Right.
Because it's skills that are basically going to identify or teach you who you are as a person, and how do you understand and how you navigate yourself as an individual, and how do you understand the next person. And I think that's just, I just wanted to add that's the importance of emotional intelligence. It really starts at more grassroots level, and it can go upright to, the working class that Marcelle just spoke about.
So just remaining on emotional intelligence, how does one explore their emotional intelligence?
When you attend the course, the first thing that we do is we assist you to do a personality assessment. And that's basically the same like the DISC that companies do. HR normally are trained to do DISC with the employees at the workplace. And then we assist every employee to discover their own personality, and we show them the quadrants of the other personality types, so that they have a glimpse of what the other personality types look like. Then we take them further into the course, and we show them then all the different, or 7 human emotions, and we show the different intensities and when and how they can basically reduce the intensities of the different emotions and how they need to do so. And this seems very valuable, because we have a lot of the participants that from time to time come back and ask for more of our material, etc., to share with other employees at the workplace.
Right. Now, obviously you also mentioned about the high suicide rates and so on. So EQ is very, very important for individuals, for society, and for working environments, especially in fast-paced social setting that we are currently going through. Now, how can one regulate their emotions? Perhaps if you can share tips and some tricks on how to manage emotions in positive ways.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to recognize emotions. You need to first of all recognize your feeling, your emotion, what you feel at that very moment. And then after that, you need to pinpoint now what you feel to do, what is the behavior that you feel that goes with it. And you then need to find out now what is good about it and what is bad about it, and then you need to identify, will it be the best way to behave in this way or the other? We have different strategies that we go through. In our content, we use different strategies from different authors that we apply in the classes. And then the participants identify what would then be the best behavior from each situation. Some of them go through, for example, the bereavement, death as a trauma that happens to them, and they feel very sad and angry, and they feel a bit confused, and some of them go down into some light, or some goes into deeper depression, etc. So they need to first identify how they feel, and they need to reach out to people. They need to reach out to specialists. They need to reach out to platforms that are available, like your Lifeline Childlife, your 116 and your 106. And there are many support systems in the society. And then there's a lot of psychologists that also can support. But for yourself, you need to become aware of how you feel, and you need to know that you need to take the right decision, and you need to have the right behavior. So as I said, we give a lot of strategies, and we guide people to sort of like basically understand the trauma that happens and take you through the processes until you get to accepting, whether it's a negative process or integrating whatever the negativity is, and show you guidelines as to how you step by step try to get to the point of full acceptance or full integration.
Now, amongst the benefits of EQ is, of course, effective communication, with the ability to not only overcome challenges, but also to diffuse conflict with so many societal ills that we are faced with. How imperative then is it that this isn't just a mechanism that's accessible to a few, but moreover taught on a broader scale?
There's a lot of social issues that comes up in these classes. And EQ, yes, it's definitely a mechanism, because in the class you will always hear that people come up with, because we declare it a safe space in the EQ class. And there's always issues that comes up where some individuals, some participants feel that I'm struggling with this at my workplace, I'm struggling with that at my workplace. And EQ basically provides the opportunity to talk, which is the beginning of the process of towards healing of all these social issues. I mean, social issues, all our policymakers and politicians all stand for solving different social issues, and that's why we vote for them. So we are all aware of these different social issues, and that becomes such huge barriers at the workplaces. So EQ class actually starts to allow them to start to talk about it, and then we start to look at how we can guide them. We do also do a lot of referrals to qualified psychologists on a daily basis. We refer them to use their medical aids and to go for support, etc., etc.
Now, Vehonga.
Yes, I just wanted to come in there in terms of communication. Like you said, Marcelle kept at the beginning, she indicated that this is really a skill it's a soft skill that really helps you to understand yourself. And it also allows you to understand the next person and how to communicate with them. In which way, what is the tone of voice, because of the elements of the different personalities that you've indicated, because of the fact that we are so different. And this emotional intelligence, again, it teaches you how do you communicate with the different personalities? What is the tone that you use? What is the language that you use? Because of the fact that we are different tones and different languages and different content means different things to different people.
Right.
So again, it really broadens, you know, the element of communication.
And earlier on, we spoke about the fact that EQ is not only something that adults should know, but that it can also equip young people as well as minors on how to cope in their different environments. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that? Are we looking at perhaps introducing this in schools, in communities and so on?
I can't really speak from a school perspective, but I think from a university perspective, we've already tapped into the student market because a lot of students are challenged. They are, I think a lot of us were in situations where we were forced to work in groups when we had varsity.
Yes.
And somehow you just couldn't get through to certain people. And that's because we didn't have the skill. And now if we capacitate students, they are able to really understand the individual and the cohesion of the team or the role players within the team. And that way, it just creates better human beings and better you know, employees within companies once they graduate from university. Yes.
Talking about companies, let's look at the workplace and EQ. In what ways can it benefit an organization? And perhaps if you can share two or more things that can be implemented on an individual level.
There's a lot. Yeah, we as I said, we start with a emotion intelligence course. We start off to assist the participants to discover who they are. And when they discover themselves, they know already what type of personality they are, and then we alert them towards the vocabulary that they use. So, for instance, if you use a DISC, or we can use the personality plus or the big five. If it's a person that is a bit melancholy, that wants to know a lot of detail, they understand that that person wants to know a lot of detail, and they need to give the full story to my co-worker. And then they learn to know, to get to know the choleric person that would want the work, give the instructions today and wanted the work done yesterday. And then they don't stress that much, but they understand this is just because of the personality of the person. And the person just wants the work done, wants to get the project to end successfully. And so they start to learn to understand why some people need a lot of information and why some people just need a bit of information, why some people respond on the first call. We'd like to have your procurement requests, and why they need to go to other people in departments and to sit down and say, okay, can you give me your procurement request now? Because of the personality of the persons. And then also they can then pinpoint why some departments within the organization can work so well together in harmony, where they can pinpoint what is the glue that actually assists them to stick together and to perform so well, all from the emotion intelligence course. And then above all is then to be alerted on the vocabulary that they need to use, the different intense vocabulary of the different emotions, etc., and then they know how to communicate with each other. And that means a lot to organizations, because now the individuals go back and they know each other. They know when to recognize emotions, their own emotions, and when to recognize others. They know when to pick up cues, when to not just keep on talking all the time, but also to listen to other people, and to also look at other people who are quiet and withdrawn within the team. And this makes teamwork really a winner at different workplaces.
So how would you recommend such training to companies instead of just to individuals, because one individual can receive this kind of training, but as an organization, others also need to come on board so
Yes,
that they can
definitely.
all, you know, understand one another.
Yes, yes, most definitely. To individuals as employees within an organization, for their work life and for their private life. We had several times we had individuals who asked could they bring their family members for a session to also listen to different personalities, listen to the 7 human emotions, listen to the intensity, vocabulary, etc., etc. And we arranged afternoons for families that actually came and asked, because the individual who were an employee of a company saw the value in it that they could take with for their personal life, and that's why they basically came forward with such a request. Yes, definitely, at the workplace and in their private life, all the organizations in Namibia should actually contact the CED and actually send their employees to this course. We had such a lot of great feedback from the teams that were there, and it's all up on the website and on our Facebook page. So there's a lot of evidence that showed that this course, especially the emotional intelligence, but also the problem solving skills and the critical thinking as well.
Now, Vehonga, you wanted to say something, especially when Marcelle was referring to the different personality types.
Yes, no, it's very important because again, you can have one individual that goes to and attend these programs, and then he will be the only one that has an understanding, but the skill won't really be fruitful within the workplace if the rest of employees are not on par with them. So I think it's more encouraging that the organization sends departments so that the whole team can get or can really be brought on the same on the same level of understanding, and they can all acquire the skill that they need to be able to be successful at the end in terms of emotional intelligence.
Right. Now, how important is networking in one's day-to-day life and the positives that this has?
Networking is so crucial because it creates mentorship opportunities, it creates brainstorming opportunity, idea sharing. So it's really so critical that we all create platforms where we can network. Because it also helps to grow businesses, because we are able to tap into other organizations' strategies and so on, because it's a platform where everybody get to share. So networking is very important for personal growth as well as business growth.
Well, taking you back, we were talking about personality types and different emotions that people have. Can we just discuss that a little bit?
Marcelle.
Yes. From all the theory and all the training, let's do a quick evaluation.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh.
And I am going to analyze you. You are a melancholy type of person, absolute perfectionist. You want everything in order, everything very perfect. You want to know all the rules, and you are on top of all the rules in your game. If there's policies, if there's guidelines that you need to know, yes, of course, you know all the policies and all the guidelines. And you want to know that every bit of information so that you don't do the wrong thing.
Right.
Am I right so far?
Keep going, keep going.
Okay, so this is just from roughly from behavior. So this is what we do in class. We show people the different behaviors of different personality types. So now when somebody talk, when you eat, when you walk, whatever you do, your reasoning is all based on that category of your personality. So basically, when you've been to the training, you can now pinpoint, okay, this is personality type A, that's personality type B, this is personality type 3, this is for. I need to handle this person in this way. I need to handle the person in a different way, etc., etc. And from there, they know exactly how to handle each other. Because if you give me a phone call and I'm on the other side, I know that I shouldn't rush the phone call with you. Because you want to know everything. And I shouldn't get irritated and I shouldn't get hasty. I should give you all the information.
Right.
But if it's personality 1, then personality 1 only wants to know certain information. So when we sit in class, we basically introduce everybody into the different behaviors, into the different reasoning of each person, into the different ways of how you select and prefer to do certain things, so that when they study that, they also become masters and understand now people, and they can walk into a dining room or a restaurant and they can tell that person who ate fast is personality 1. They are always in a hurry. They always want to get things going. They are just interested in the job and productivity, etc., etc. And they are a bit low on people's skills, so we shouldn't step on their toes if we find that they are a little bit low on people's skills, etc. So that is basically what they learn, and this is very meaningful for participants if they need to work together to really understand why certain people do certain things in certain ways and why other people do certain things in different ways, and why certain things around a matter matters for some people in one way, and it just doesn't matter for other people in the other way.
Right.
So that is why it is so important.
So did you want to add something, and perhaps just in closing?
I also just
final
wanted
words.
to say, from the personality types, we normally use a color chart, to identify the different personality types. You are also learning, you are also able to learn, but how do I learn skills that I don't have as a person? Sometimes you are, I'm normally the green, which is basically, I'm very, I'm very open, I'm an extrovert and so on. But I'm also able to gain skills, from the introvert type of people. I'm able to be more patient, listen more, and so on. So in as much as it identifies, or it really critically identify or give you exactly who you are as a person, they are also able to identify, but these are the skills that you need in order to be a neutral person. And so that you are not just, clustered and you are like, no, this is who I am and I don't want to change.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, let me thank you so much, both of you. It has been a very engaging conversation that we've had. Of course, I've been speaking here now to CED's marketing manager, Vehonga Ndjitaviua, as well as the trainer and facilitator, Marcelle Martin, this evening, of course.